great.
I know you'd like to be it.
Oh man. Should be
It
live
ticks
on
my wife off to no end because my wife will be laying in bed with my cat, no problem. As soon as I lay down, my cat just comes to me.
Right.
My wife's like,
Later,
"We were
losers."
cuddling just fine.
Yeah, right. Everything was fine. Oh man. Okay. Are you guys ready to start the show?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, I need a title section.
No.
Tittles.
Most importantly.
Tittles. Yes,
All
not
right.
like we are ever going to beat last week's, you haunting brainworm of an asshole, you.
They mostly ooh at night, mostly. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
I hate you so much, dude.
And the name.
For those of you that didn't get it, depending on where Boston edits this in, the reason we're all broken is because Boston said they only ooh at night, referring to last week's title, and it broke all three of us again.
Yeah. Enjoy that video, people, and the patrons over at patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. If you want to get the behind-the-scenes stupidity, this week we have in the Outcast, which is the exclusive and uncensored episodes for all you patrons. We have Tales of Woe from IT, Tales of Woe from F1, and a lot of other stuff, including whatever stupidity happens right before we start recording this show. So most time, if you're not a patron, you get sort of that stuff, and then the between segments stuff in the show, and then the titles. So a lot of times it's like 45 minutes to an hour of extra audio. So on top of sort of the regular episode we put out, and you get early access to stuff like We Roguelike It, the show where Moon and I play every roguelike in history. We're wrapping up another game this week. So in 2 weeks, we'll start our brand new game. We got a new schedule for We Roguelike It. If you haven't listened for a little while, we used to do 4 weeks, and we release 2 episodes at the end of a show. We're going to get a little bit of breathing room here. So it's going to be those 4 episodes. Then next week will be the ranking episode, and then it'll be a 5-week show at this point now. And you can also get 2-month early access to Critical Misses, show where Moon and I are catching up on all the media hits we've missed. And if you're watching the live video, you can see Moon's cat Louise just aggressively headbutt him right in the teeth, which is always a classic. Patreon.com/E1M1. The $5 a month tier is the recommended one. That gets you everything. And Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Well, to be honest, one of the reasons why the last week's title came up is because I literally sent Boston a text in the middle of the week saying, "Just so you know, that title has haunted my sleep." Just so you're aware.
That's right.
Like, thanks for that.
Every couple of years, I get a good one.
This wasn't a good one. I think this is an all-timer.
Right.
So that's good.
Right.
But yes, let's see. What have I been playing this week? Louise, I need to maneuver myself around you here really quick. Okay. So, as Musum pointed out on last month's Game Club episode,
yes,
Blair Witch was very rapidly leaving Game Pass.
Right.
So I needed to beat Blair Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Which I did not do.
Okay.
As I predicted last week, I did not do because
the one that got away.
I literally had like 6 hours to play games this week, so not a lot of time. As someone who used to average like 40, 50 hours a week, this is getting rather depressing. Well, hey, such is life. But no, so I couldn't beat Blair Witch, so I played it through. I got the bad ending.
Okay.
And then I had 12 hours left before it left Game Pass, like including sleep time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just bought it for like 50% off because it was on deep discount, and it's
that's
Bloober Team, and I wanted to support them because
Bloober.
it's, I like their games.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Boston.
Yes.
I might vote for Blair Witch to jump to the top of the scary game piles.
Oh my! What
Did
a
it make
recommendation!
you yell?
It didn't make me yell. It's an interesting game. Like story-wise, there's a lot to talk about, but story-wise, there's some interesting stuff going on. There is a pacifist playthrough.
Oh, interesting.
Which you can't use your flashlight if you play it that way, Boston.
Oh no!
What does the flashlight have to do with being a pacifist?
Things in the woods don't like light, we'll say.
Oh,
I
some
see.
Alan Wake stuff going on.
A little bit. Well, don't get me wrong, I think Resident Evil 7 is a better game. Resident Evil 8 is arguably a better game. In fact, it's definitely a better game. 8 is one of the most messed up but greatest Resident Evil games I've played in a long time. But there's something about the Blair Witch. This isn't a teen rom-com. This isn't like, one of those bad comedy cringe movies from the 90s.
How to Lose a Blair Witch in 7 days.
Yes. This isn't one of those.
Right.
Although if you could do that, that would be great. No Step Blair Witch, I'm stuck. I know that title's getting beat
She's all Blair Witch.
Right off the bat. Yes. I don't think I've ever played a game that legitimately gives me goosebumps every single time there is a quote-unquote combat encounter.
Oh, interesting.
Legitimately, my skin crawls.
Right.
Which...
That's an achievement. Like, that. Usually games don't do that.
Yeah, like Resident Evil 7, it will make me jump, and it will make me feel gross.
Right.
But you haven't played it. You don't get
no, I've seen some stuff in that game, and even just like watching a video is just like this. Oh god, this is so gross.
But like legitimately with the Blair Witch, my skin, it feels like it's I have that itchiness under the skin.
Right.
Like it's every single time there's a combat encounter, I get that feeling, and it's like, no, I don't want to feel this feeling. I don't want to walk forwards because I could feel my skin crawling. Because the things that scare you in the night move really creepily, like a spider, except big.
Oh no!
They're horrifying, and they're super quick, so you don't even see them coming.
Oh, that's a bad combo.
Yeah, so it's like this creepy combination of everything, and then it's dark, and the only thing you can see is a flashlight, and it's HDR, and it's binaural audio, so you can hear them running in circles around you. It's
skitter.
Legitimately skin crawling. It's a shorter game, so it would be a perfect start to the spooky, scary Boston travel time through scary games.
Right. 10 things I hate about Blair Witch. That's my last one.
You need to write that down now, because that whole mess I just said, that's going to be your title for the series, by the way.
Right.
I'm just saying. So, listeners, if you heard that, please send a message to one of us, because we're all too lazy to write it down, so Boston can get the title right.
When I put the chapters in the episode, this is in the middle of the Blair Witch part, so I'm not going to hear it.
Exactly. But no, I don't know if it's just because it's the lighting, it's the flashlight, it's the fact that there's no hood, there's no help. Yeah, there is no hood. Or if it's the fact that it's something that probably traumatized me as a child watching the Blair Witch.
Right. Well, it sounds unique too. Like, it sounds like it's this cool combination of all this stuff that maybe a couple of games have tried to do some of this stuff, but maybe Bloober is really going out on a limb, saying like, yeah, we're going to make this kind of cool thing. Also, it's a Blair Witch game that somehow works. Yeah.
I don't know how, I don't know why, but it does. But no, and now I do have to do the pacifist run now, which is...
Oh, boy.
Going to be interesting, we'll say.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can do it in about 4 hours. So
Okay.
hopefully, I should be able to do it pretty quickly because I
Running
literally
and
just played the game from the beginning.
Just running and screaming, crying through the dark woods, just like, no, no.
Is it so dark you can't see trees before you run into them?
Legitimately, yes.
I was saying, are you constantly getting hung up on them, or does it let the character just kind of negotiate its way around them?
You can hit a tree and it will bend you around it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
To an extent.
I was gonna say that would be horrible with no flashlight. It's
Yeah.
dark.
It's the real life
branch.
getting lost in the woods simulator.
It's genuinely, it's so terrifying. Like, I don't even know why.
Yeah.
Like, I've played scary games before. I've played like horror games before. I've played a lot of different things, which are just a whole bunch of, jump scares and all the rest of that stuff. Like, I've done it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one Billy Gunn. Sorry, that's a wrestling reference.
And I
Thank you
them
for
all.
everybody who laughed during that period. But I don't know why this just... It's hard to explain because I legitimately... It's other than saying my skin crawls, there's no other real way of describing it.
It's like describing a VR game. It's like you don't really get how cool being in this space looks until you put the headset on and you're in there.
Exactly. And for reference sakes, I have just sent a text message to both Nimp and Boston, so I hope your phones are on silent.
Yeah.
Because you guys are about to get a photo of what the game looks like in genuine, like, what you can actually see. And I'm actually curious to see if Boston would go for this because, it's Boston and he's a giant wimp.
I prefer chicken.
It's a chicken.
Yeah, that's right.
I almost told you I didn't receive anything, and then I realized, the picture is so dark on my black background that it didn't show up. That's
what they say.
That's what it looks like on my phone.
Yep.
It's so dark.
It's black on black is what it is.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get this to show up on camera, but yes, this is this little smidge of a light off in the distance.
So that's a screenshot with the flashlight turned on.
Yeah, if you're an audio listener, just imagine a black rectangle, and you got it.
It's not far off if I'm completely honest.
That is horrible. Now that you say that it's on, I can see what you're talking about. I thought that was just like a light source in the distance, but no,
that's
now turn that off.
Pacifist.
So the best thing is, in order to see properly, you need to aim it at the floor for the light to reflect upwards for you to actually see it. If you just aim it up at the trees, that's what you get, is a black rectangle. But so you need to aim it at the floor so you can see paths and things like that. It's legitimately terrifying game.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Blair Witch is fun. You should buy Blair Witch and play Blair Witch. If, like me, you wasted its time on Game Pass by not playing it.
Right.
But yeah, I got it for like 50% off. It's like $23, $24, something like that.
Supporting Bloober.
So, yes, support Bloober, and they also made the Medium, which I think is an incredible game too, that came out last week to PlayStation 5.
Yes. Yeah, so it's both on Series X and S and PS5. And PC?
I'm guessing PC because it was an Xbox exclusive, so they always
I would assume PC.
But yes, Blair Witch, go play it. I will be talking about it next week too because I got a 4-hour pacifist run to play. Yay!
Godspeed.
I played a little bit of Hades, not worth writing down. Nimp, did you play some Hades? Are we gonna get into it?
Didn't even touch it this week.
Boston?
I got like maybe a run in. I used the last weapon, which is I always forget where it's like, oh, what's that thing? It's just a gun. Zag's got a gun.
I'm down in Boston. So apparently one of the Daedalus upgrades for that, I think it basically turns it into a Spartan Cannon from Halo series.
Oh wow, is that the one with the laser?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that gun's great.
Yeah, so I might have to try that gun a bit more often. But it never comes up in my purple rotation.
No,
which phrasing maybe on that one.
Did we just activate a sleeper cell?
Yes, we did. But yeah, it never comes up in that really. Everything else does all the time. Like I'm constantly getting, the bow, the shield, the normal sword.
The bow every time. It's like I don't want to use the bow.
Yeah, I don't like charging the bow up. No, thank you.
Screw the bow.
Yeah,
give me a gun.
Go play Hades, 4K, 60 frames. It's great.
It's incredible. I played a lot of this month's Game Club game to the point where I'm at the last mission on this month's Game Club game, which is also a point where Nim can talk about it and I can't because this month's Game Club game is Boston
Boyfriend Dungeon.
There we go.
Nice. So, I haven't played a whole lot of it this week either.
Okay, great. So the theme continues.
I've gotten further in it, but nothing worth really mentioning. I'm just further down in it now. I can use 7, right? That's what
7.
We decided his name was. Yeah.
Yep. I only remember it because the end of his story, there's like a how do I say this without spoiling it?
There's a chance to do something, and the name of the thing that he might be doing is called.
Yeah, it's called blank 7, and ever since then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna remember his name. Yep.
I don't know why, but Sev just keeps coming to mind every time I think of that guy for some reason.
Right. Yeah.
Because Sev sounds like a Star Wars name, and he's a lightsaber.
That's right.
I mean, maybe.
That's right.
I bet you there's a Star Wars character called Sev. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's give it a search here.
Let's hit up the Wikipedia.
We have devolved to Wikipedia on the show. That's what we've. That's what have we become?
We had a great run. We almost made it to 725. So this is the end. I'm sorry.
Every day we stray further from God or the Force.
That's right. That's right.
Are you guys ready for this?
Oh no. Yes. No. Yes.
So technically, it's Siv. S-I-V was a human female member of Skree, or Skur, a clan native to a planet. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. And it's just a bunch of letters and numbers after this.
Great.
So yes,
Star Wars.
It's in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh man.
But yes, I played an absolute ton of that. Like literally, I'm up to the last mission because I kind of got sucked into it a little bit. It's cool. I don't appreciate the fact that I'm not grinding for materials for the last couple of achievements, but it's cool.
Yeah, I gotta go back in and get those because those were broken when the game launched. So I gotta figure out like how to get the last hat, how to make the last thing.
I think the one that was glitched was the baseball cap, which I got almost immediately. So it looks like that has been fixed.
All right, I'll have to fire that back up. I also have to get the achievement for the handheld Beetle racing game, which is an undying nightmare.
Dude, it's not that bad.
The last race is tough.
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
it's not that bad.
It's only tough because I haven't practiced. That's the I did it a couple times. I'm like, all right, I gotta like spend one session sitting down and just optimizing my Beetle racing line, and then I'll get it.
Look, dude, if you call yourself a true gamer, which I know you do, don't try and lie to me.
What? No, I'm cool.
It's one race to get the layout, a second race to win it, and that's it.
I feel like you're overestimating my racing game skills.
Well, Micro Machines didn't release in America, so I can understand why this might be a problem.
That's true.
Which, Micro Machines is the ultimate nightmare hellscape of racing games. For those of you who don't know what
RC Pro-Am came out here, which is like its sister game in misery.
Yeah. Micro Machines might be worse because you don't get screwed over by a cue ball in RC Pro-Am. You don't accidentally hit a 1d6 and fall off a table.
That's true. You bring up good points.
But yes, the one you're talking about is the Flutter Buggiest achievement, which is be the best Flutter Bug you can be, which is fantastic achievement names.
Yeah, I only have 3 more. The hats, the Flutterbug one, and then one other one that was broken when it came out. I don't remember what it is. It's one of the collection crafting one.
I didn't know that the hats had skills with them.
Yep.
Because the clothes themselves don't. So I was just like, okay, this is all just, however I want to make my character look.
Yeah.
And I had, a blue flower in the hair of my character, and I took it off and swapped it out for something else, and all of a sudden I realized I wasn't healing for as much as I was healing before.
Right.
And then realized that, the blue flower gives me extra healing.
Right.
Yep.
Huh, okay.
The Phoenix hat revives you once.
Right.
Very helpful.
I've got the clergyman hat that does something super weird. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I was going to make the worst joke ever then, but I'm going to hold it in and not make that joke.
The listeners can insert their own inappropriate joke there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Play Boyfriend Dungeon. It's cool. Yeah. It's a good game.
Yes. Also, I didn't notice Rob, friend of the show, is in the chat. An aspect of Lucifer is the Spartan laser cannon for that gun. So,
that's a really good name.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Let's go there, of all places. But my final game this week was, of course, my new bad game of the month, which is it's not the Tokyo Olympics, because that's done and dusted, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for now. It's, of course, Aliens Fireteam, which is a perfectly mediocre game that's kind of got me really into it.
one of our favorite B-tier games that it does a couple of things really well, it does a couple of things not super great, but it's a lot of fun with friends.
Yes, and there's a lot of grinding. There's daily challenges, which is fun and scary all at the same time.
Filling up all your bars.
And it gets worse.
Uh-oh.
It gets worse. Because when you rank up in the specific classes that you're playing as, they've basically got this square box looking rectangle, sideways rectangle, not a vertical one, but a horizontal one. And it's got on each of the three sides, or on the left, the right, and the bottom, it's got your 3 class abilities kind of thing.
Okay.
And then as you level up, it starts unlocking more little squares in the middle.
Oh no.
Which you then insert perks into, like inventory Tetris in Resident Evil, to give you buffs for different types of things.
That's pretty cool.
And it's totally in universe style. It's totally got the same Weyland-Yutani green and gray CPU screen.
Right, those old CRT library terminals. That's really cool.
I hate how good this game. This game does so many things so well. And I hate it for it because it's great. I'm going to be playing this game forever now because one of the achievements is to heal 100 teammates.
Well, it was fun playing Destiny 2 with you.
Literally, I did not touch it this week at all, dude. This is terrifying. But then I did I had 6 hours.
Right.
Also, no, I was going to make a reference to the pre-show things, but that won't matter. The thing we talked about earlier is, I can't. I'll talk about.
You
talk
have
about it next week.
You have some stuff going on that has decreased the amount of that's the thing about this show is I've never really insisted that everybody play something every week. I mean, we do because this is our hobby, but there's gonna be weeks where it's I played one thing because I had 30 minutes free this week, where it's all right, cool, I had 80 hours free this week, so I played everything. That this kind of ebb and flow is naturally going to happen, and it always frustrates me when people are I don't really feel like playing anything right now. What's wrong with me? It's then don't play anything. Go do something else. It doesn't matter. Video games will still be here. Game Pass will still have 50 bajillion games. Come on.
No, they won't. Dan Riker is going to put that Mario Party game in that N64, and our world is going to end.
Yeah, probably.
But no. Fireteam. I got a backwards hat, and it was the spaceship that we're on. It's like, cool, that's fine. And then I got the stupid eye target and laser thing that Vasquez and
Vegeta,
the other guy.
Vasquez and Vegeta. Those are the two I love.
Like a super hipster dork now.
That's right.
No, because it's the big metal one that they fold over with the smart guns. Like, I got one of those, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna wear it. I'm not even playing the class that has the smart gun, but I don't care.
It looks cool.
Yes, but apparently with the smart gun, it has a very large reticle, and it just shoots people who are inside that reticle, which is exactly what the smart gun should do. It's what they've always done when represented in a first-person video game. I will have to try it out because I haven't played as that class yet. The good news is, though, is that that's a perfect Justin class. So Justin gets to play as the guy who has the smart gun. So that's the fun part coming in there. But no, like there's 4 campaign missions in a horde mode. Each campaign mission has 3 chapters, so there's like 3, 6, 9, 12 total missions. It looks like. Me and Rob just landed on a planet and started going through some Prometheus-looking crap.
What's up?
No, get away from me with that, dude. Just get away from me.
You know, I was watching Nextlander, the Nextlander crew, play that. It seems like each individual chapter is actually fairly long. It's not like
45 minutes to an hour, dude.
Yeah, it's not like 3 rooms and there's a boss xenomorph at the end. It's like you're in there for a pretty good, not too much, but like a pretty good amount of time. It reminds me more of something like Left 4 Dead, where it's like, all right, we have enough time to kind of get through a couple levels, and it's a good amount of time, but I'm not spending an entire afternoon playing one chapter.
Yeah, and so far it's been genuinely very enjoyable.
Yeah,
like that sound design kicks me every single time. It just slaps. I don't care.
It was on sale this week too for like $33, $32.
So $5 off, I think. So that's well worth it. Like, I hate how much I like this game. I do. Because they play the dropship music when you go down to a mission, and they play the APC music when things start getting tense, and they've got all the John Williams score going on in the background, and it's just like,
let's do it.
Hit you so much. Like, you are a perfectly average game that is elevated to a different level because of my nostalgia related with this thing.
Well, it sounds also, it sounds too that the team gets it. Like they know the cool stuff you want to see and do. They know the music you want. They know like all the stuff they need to license, and it sounds like they use it really well. So it's not, maybe it's not necessarily nostalgia. It's just like, yeah, we got all the stuff you would want to see in here. Like we did it right.
We got the stuff that you're expecting.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
That's what I was talking about last week. Is like, as far as I'm concerned, with any Aliens game, with a Predator game, you get the sound right. You've already got me.
Yeah, you're like 80% of the way there.
Like, because I bought AVP, I bought Aliens, Colonial Marines, and I bought them all because I watched the trailer and it had the pulse rifle sound in it, and I was like, okay, I'm sold.
Right.
Every time.
Right.
Get the pulse rifle sound and I'm sold. I don't care what it is. I don't care how bad it is. I'll play it.
Yeah.
Playing this game did cause an argument, which is something to for me to note down for pre-show next week, because I don't want to have an hour-long sidetrack here. Something to stew on for next week. Nimp, you're not a family member, so you're excluded from this conversation.
Patreon.com/U101.
Yes. I had a very heated but patient argument with friend of the show, Rob, about what is the better franchise as a whole.
Oh, no.
You guys are such nerds.
Aliens
or
the Fast Saga.
Oh,
now,
man.
I don't want to get into an argument.
I'll let that percolate. That's a hell of a question.
Yeah. Because I have thoughts, and as a noted hater of the Fast Saga, Rob thinks that more people nowadays would know Aliens better than Fast and the Furious. I disagree with that. Because, dude, we old.
My knee jerk would probably be if you're not a millennial, I bet it's the Fast Saga is probably more popular. I would assume. I don't have data, but
we'll percolate on that for a week and something to talk about next pre-show.
I'll be chewing on that all week.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what it was. It turned into a chill out, shoot some aliens, laugh when we do the Monica mission again because we helped Justin get through it. My favorite thing about that mission was I missed it last time. When that alien first appears, it says Elite Alien, like something or another on the name bar above it.
Right.
And then the second the guy shouts over the radio, "Oh no, it's Monica," that disappears and it just says Monica.
That's really good.
I was like,
I love it.
Okay. Really bad comedy. And as Rob pointed out, they have all of the prerequisite stereotypes in there. There is an angry Hispanic lady yelling at you over the radio.
Mm-hmm.
There is the Asian pilot lady who's in there. So many stereotypes.
Idris Elba is just in there for some reason.
Wait, what?
No, I just Idris Elba's in everything.
He's doing a Suicide Squad movie. It would not surprise me at all.
He was in Zootopia. He's in everything.
Yes. Yeah. He's in a Fast movie, dudes.
That's true. He's great.
Wait, he's also in an Aliens movie.
That's why I brought it up.
Venn diagram working here, and
that's right. 5 or 6 circles coming together.
How many alien actors are in Fast and Furious saga?
We know 1. Definitely. 2. Crap. This could go on a lot longer because Charlize Theron is in both too.
Yeah, there you go.
But yes, Aliens Fireteam is fine. It's a cheap budget game. Play it with your friends. Have some fun. That's all I've been playing. Nim, shut me up, please.
All right. Shut up, man. So this week, the reason I haven't played Hades and I haven't played any more Boyfriend Dungeon is because the new update for Genshin came out this week.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes, and this includes 2 new islands to go with the new islands that only came out like 2 weeks ago at this point.
I feel like every time I turn around, they're like, all right, 2.0 is out. Whoops, 2.1 is out. We just added like 2 or 3 more islands and a bunch of voice acting, and here we go. Aloy's in here too. All right, let's go.
Yeah, Aloy is free on PlayStation. If you have your account on PC or mobile, you have to wait. I don't remember how long you have to wait.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Yeah, it also does not work. Here's something that I had to talk one of my other friends out of. If you have a PlayStation and you try to log in with your PC stuff or your mobile stuff, it will not let you get Aloy because that's already connected to a PC or mobile.
Oh, interesting.
The other kind of screw job is that account will then be hard linked with your PlayStation. So anytime, even if you uninstall and reinstall Genshin, that information is the only information that's going to pop up on that PlayStation.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you're going to do it, you have to do it with a completely different account.
Right.
Or just wait. It's going to come to everybody.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It'll come out eventually.
Yeah. Besides, I haven't actually used her yet. I got her. She looks cool. She sounds good. They don't have the Aloy voice actress. I cannot remember her name right now.
Ashley Birch.
Is that Ashley Birch?
Yeah.
Okay. She is not the VO and Genshin. However, they do have a really good sound alike.
Yep.
It's not like the character's constantly talking. It's basically just the attack animation, blah,
yeah.
exactly, calling out your attack or whatever. So it's not anything in depth anyway.
She does look really cool though. Like I liked how they made her look in Fortnite, and I like how they made her look in Genshin. Like the adapting her into both of those styles is real cool.
Yeah. But yeah, not really a whole lot more to go into Genshin right now because it's all story, fun stuff that anyone outside of me and my son, nobody here cares.
Right.
So the next game that I was playing, I was trying to get my wife to kind of just do something different. Mm-hmm. So I downloaded Empire of Sin.
Yeah, I keep meaning to start this.
Yes. Because she likes the 1920s-ish era. Mm-hmm. And this takes place in 1920 Prohibition Chicago.
Yep.
Is it the fashion? It's the hats and the suits, isn't it?
I don't know what her deal is with it.
It's all good.
I know she's interested in Fallout only because of the music.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And some of the other fun stuff. But anyway, so with this game, she picked Elvira, who is a Mexican cartel boss.
Okay.
I don't know what you would, besides saying that she's cartel, I don't know how you would, what their structure is. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's like 14 people that you can pick from all, from different nationalities and stuff like that. And they all have like individual, like, not stats, but like skills or abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one with Elvira, she has the ability that she can use a revolver. She has a double tap ability.
Oh.
And she also has a charge ability that when it eventually charges up, she basically walks up to an enemy, blows a powder in their face, and they become an ally.
Interesting. Okay.
So, and they take constant damage as well. It basically poisons them as well. I don't know. We've only used it once, so I don't know if they eventually break it.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like you do it. They fight for you for a bit until the poison finally kills them.
Right. That's
which
cool.
is fine. Yeah. The game plays like XCOM.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Overwatch, all that fun stuff.
Yep.
I was trying to walk my wife through all this because she has never played a tactical game, let alone an XCOM game type game.
Right.
So throw her in the deep end is what you're saying.
Pretty much. So I was, helping her through. I was explaining to her what everything does, how lining up, how cover works, what is a half shield and a full shield and all this stuff. And
sure, right.
It took us a little bit, but she got through like the first 3 fight stages, and it was basically we took over a nightclub, or I guess like a speakeasy actually, which involved killing 2 guards. So that wasn't a big deal.
Right.
And then of course, because we own a speakeasy now, we need to have alcohol. So then we had to take over this group's brewery.
Oh, okay.
So helped her with that. We managed to tick off the boss because obviously we just killed a bunch of his men and took over 2 of his areas.
Right.
So we then had to take the boss, and at this point she gave me the controller and she's like, let me see how you play this.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, so I'm explaining to her what I'm doing and I just blow right through it. Like I've got one guy, the way they're placed, there was an enemy right next to another guy. I just had him turn around, shoot him with a shotgun. He was dead. I had another character, Elvira, walk up, double tap one guy, mount up on the door, had the third character post up on the door, do Overwatch. Boss walks in, shoot him, throw a grenade in there, map's done.
Right. Returns, let's go.
Yeah.
Hacks.
Right, wall hacks.
There is so much with this game, though. So when you're out on the map, you can walk around with your character, and it's just like a point-and-click PC where it's like, okay, you click here, and your characters will run, your party, whatever, will run there. It's just like playing an old...
Diablo 1 and 2.
Yeah, Diablo, Everwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, that kind of thing. The cool thing is that you can zoom out from there and get up to a map, and it looks like a Monopoly map.
Oh, wow.
And then it'll show you what you have, what other gangs are around in that neighborhood, and you can move to different neighborhoods. We haven't gotten that far yet. I had basically taken out the boss, and then that was the end for us for that night because it was a lot to take in. So there's all the zooming you can check out. All your characters individually have like different abilities that they can level up, such as, hey, Elvira uses a handgun. If we keep using a handgun, she's going to rank up in it, and then she'll start getting more stuff for it. Sure. You can equip your characters with different weapons, like armor, health packs, grenades. Like, you can do a deep dive, and then you get into the building stuff, where we have the speakeasy. Now we can upgrade the security, we can upgrade the booze, the entertainment, its appearance.
Yeah, you're managing like your empire.
Yes.
Of sin.
It's really cool. It is a lot to take in. There are pie charts in this game.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Yeah. And that was when we called it a night because we had basically taken out the boss. We bribed the police for right now because, hey, our mob boss is now wanted by the police because we just took out a bunch of people.
Right.
So we bribed them to turn the heat off on her for a bit. And then my wife starts looking through all the different things that she can do and all the different menus and stuff. And then she was like, all right, cool. It's getting late. This was fun. Right. Let's just shut it off for right now.
Yeah.
I will say, looking it up online, there has been a lot of issues with save files. I was finding for the console where I don't know if they become corrupted or they just stop blinking correctly or something.
Oh, okay.
We haven't played it that long, so I haven't run into these issues yet, but just to kind of make everyone aware, if you do get into this, there is that possible issue, so back up your save.
Yeah, but it is on Game Pass too.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so far it's really cool. I can't wait to play more of it with my wife, and she is really looking forward to becoming the new owner of Chicago. So
right. And then moving on to the XCOM games.
God, I don't even know. That would wreck our marriage.
Once she's fixed Chicago, if you could do me a favor and send it to Detroit, that would be great. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's the thing too. From what little bit we have played, I would so far like to see a sequel with it, because it doesn't sound like these games are horribly long. Probably, I'm guessing around 15 to 20 hours, maybe, from what I'm seeing online. That would be great to have another one set in like New York or Detroit or you know, Miami. I don't know. So
you could do some cool stuff.
Yeah. So next game that I was playing is one that I had never heard of before until Friday, and I bought it on a whim for $12.
Okay.
Oh no. Is that? Do I smell an Alpha Protocol award, possibly?
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe. This game has broken on me a couple of times.
There you go.
Let me give you a brief description of how I classify this game before I give you the title.
Okay.
And I wrote this down. Randomly generated, murder mystery, tactical RPG, card battler, with roguelike replayability.
I feel like I know what this is, and I don't know the name of it.
The Magister.
Oh, that's not it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the game where you are a detective investigating a murder, but you're the one that actually committed the murder. So your investigation is you covering the murder up. I still don't remember what that's called. I want to play that. It sounds great.
That sounds like a really good game too. So
yeah.
So I don't know why. I never heard of this game before until I think it was like Thursday night. All of a sudden, I just happened to see it, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds really cool." You basically what happens is the Magister is basically a judge and jury kind of thing. This takes place in like some medieval time, not necessarily here or anywhere else, but your previous Magister for this town has been killed, and you are sent to this town to find their murderer.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
How this actually plays out is that you show up in this town, and it's basically just like these 2D drawings, and you're moving like this character across the screen. Talk to random people. You find it. Yeah, there you go. It was also hard to find any information on this game too, so I bought this purely on a whim.
Yeah.
So you're running around, you're talking to the villagers, you're trying to figure out what's happening, you find the inn, and to move from areas, you basically get to the edge of the screen, go to the world map, you see an X on the map, you click on it, little dotted line shows up, and your character's little face icon moves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I actually forgot to bring that up too, and that's how you get into an area, and then time passes. Before you get all that, which the video actually just reminded me of, you pick a character, and all the characters have flaws, and you can keep randomly generating them.
Mm-hmm.
The character I went with was what do they call it? A faithful devotee, I think it was, where every day I had to go to church, and I'll explain why that matters later.
Okay.
But they have like different things. Like the character that I'd also picked was also basically a thief who was a magister, so I could eventually pick locks and eventually upgrade my stuff so that every day I could talk to a nameless villager and steal one coin and a trinket from them to turn around and sell for a coin. So, I mean, sometimes you have to break the law to fix the law. So.
Right. What are you playing this on?
I am playing this on Xbox.
Okay.
Series X, right?
Okay.
Series? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. The newest brick that's sitting over there.
The big one.
Yeah.
Hey. I'd rather have a brick than a gigastructure. Thank you very much.
That's right.
I like them both. It's easier to say the brick.
Right.
So once you pick your character, then you go into the world and stuff. You get dumped off in the dock. You pick, okay, I want to go to the end because that's where the murder happened. And I don't know if this changes every playthrough or if it's always at the end. So you pick to go to the end, you go there, you start talking to people. No one wants to talk to you because you're basically the new sheriff. Nobody trusts you and nobody knows you. So what you have to do is you have to do things for certain named characters to get your reputation up with them to 3-star.
Okay.
Once you do that, they start talking to you more. They may offer you new services and stuff like that. So then you have a journal where every time you talk to somebody, it starts to fill in. And you also have a giant red yarn board where you are tying, okay, murder happened at the end. Here is this person. You have talked to them. And then, like, you find out in this past run that the barmaid knew a lot of information. So there's this tiny little red thing that goes to the barmaid, and you talk to her, and you find like 3 different things with her. There's a whole thing with basically calming her down, where one of the features in this game is you can fight people, or you can try to intimidate them or talk them down. Obviously, with a barmaid that you're trying to get information from, you're not trying to intimidate her. You're just, trying to get her to calm down and to give you information. This is where the card game comes in. The card battler starts.
Oh, right.
For battles and for trying to convince people of things, it starts a card battle. And you're not playing against anyone. You're just trying to get, like with the barmaid, she has like a certain level of, I forget what they called it. I think it was like rage or something like that. And she's like level 3. So I have to play these certain cards in a certain order to get her rage down so that way she'll talk to me. And you have 12 turns to do it in. So you playing your little game, you get that going. And if you went, yeah, there it is. There's the board. Sorry, Boston's got the video up in the screen. So you get that down and she'll talk to you. And if you don't, you'll just have to go a different way of getting her to talk to you. But one of the weird things that I found was one of the cards that you can use is basically you shoot off a warning shot.
Oh boy.
And this will either bring her rage down by 1 or it will give you an extra empathy point so that you can use them on cards. Which I thought was the weirdest thing, that I'm trying to calm this woman down and I decided to randomly shoot off a warning shot to do so. Yeah. So you get all that done. She gives you the information. You move on. The other battle portion of this is when you're in the world, there's like hot spots that you can cross, and then you can fight. You can either choose, depending on the class that you pick, to either stealth past them or fight them. And then you all get initiatives, and then you've got, and then your cards show up, and this is when you start fighting everything on a tactical grid. It doesn't matter where your character's at so far. If you have like a weapon that's a close range attack, they'll just jump to them across the map and attack them.
Oh, wow.
All right, cool. It does affect, everything's based on time. So there's like a little bar up top that, that attack added 3 seconds to their weight. So you may be further back, in the progression than everyone else, or not, depending on what's happening. So there's all kinds of just random stuff going on with the battles. And this game is just really stupid fun. Like I lost a lot of time. I've lost a lot of time playing this.
Right.
I actually, quote unquote, beat my first run. I failed. For this one, you get 15 days to solve it. Okay. And if you don't solve it within 15 days, the Grand Magister shows up. And he just flat out tells you, okay, you've done this long enough. Who did it?
Oh, interesting.
I didn't feel that I had enough information, so I was pleading with them to give me more time. And they're like, no, you've been out here 15 days. Who did it? And then it gives you a list of all the named characters in the village, and you have to pick one. Like, there's no way out of it.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, let me pick. I ended up I was thinking of another person and picked the wrong person. I had some evidence, and it shows, as you're showing this evidence, it shows, okay, they had a motive, they had placement, and I got her up to be like a rank D suspect, and that was as high as I could get it for this character. And then I realized I picked the wrong character.
Oh.
And so I failed. So I didn't catch who did it.
Right.
The cool thing is, though, is that when you beat it, it gives you an epilogue, and it tells you, okay, this is what happened. this is who killed him.
Oh,
and it was
okay.
the person that I freaking thought it was.
Oh, no.
Oh,
like, that sucks. But it's really cool that they give you that epilogue at the end to let you know, hey, this is what's happening with that. I haven't started another run yet, but from what I understand is everything, there's a difficulty that I unlocked. The first difficulty that you get was 0. Since I've beaten it on 0, I now get difficulty 1. For me to be able to get difficulty 2, I have to find the killer within like 12 days or something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm not going to try for that yet because I want to replay it on 0 just to, kind of go through it again. It's from what I am understanding, every time you restart or start a new one, it completely randomizes who did the murder, how they did the murder, and what clues and evidence you can find about the murder, which seems really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a really fun game.
It seems cool.
I kind of want to replay it again. So, I think that run took me 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours maybe. Okay. So it's fairly short. It's meant to be replayed several times.
Right.
So I'm all for it. I'm gonna try it again and see if I can figure out who did it this time. Or there was also the option that I did not pick because I did not feel that I was ready. You could fight or at least challenge the Grand Magister, and I did not do that because the guy that comes off the boat is basically a wall of flesh, and I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool game.
That's the Magister. It looks like it's on PC, Xbox, Switch. Yep. And that looks like that's where it is. That's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything for PS5, so I'm guessing it's not on there. And it's only $15.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's cool.
Really cool game. The last game that I played this week, because there was another update, was No Man's Sky.
Ditto. The Frontiers update.
Yes. We'll get the obligatory, hey, there's a new patch, so your base is probably screwed again. You'll have to dig it back out, that kind of thing. We had to re-dig out our racing tunnel that we were building in the side of a mountain because, like, the first quarter of the track was just filled in. But it's all good. Yeah. So this new mission was supposed to give you... It actually did a lot of stuff that I didn't realize. But anyway, the main attraction was that you are now getting a mission to be an overseer for a colony on a random planet. Mine happens to be on a poisonous planet that's full of miasma, which actually isn't bad. Because of the miasma, everyone has to stay inside for the most part. And because of that, everyone is productive. Because you're stuck inside, you might as well work.
Right.
So, I don't know. I haven't done a whole lot with it, but so far what I've done is I basically showed up to this obelisk-looking thing, applied to be an overseer after I got the mission, it told me to go here, applied to be the overseer because the old overseer is dead, and guess what? I got the job.
Right.
And then...
It sounds a bit Fallout-ish so far, I'm not going to lie.
Very much so.
Yeah, when they mentioned overseer, I'm like, all right, that's where this is going.
Yeah, and like you go to apply at the obelisk thing, and as soon as you click apply, they're like, welcome, overseer. And it's like, oh, okay, got the job. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, question is, what weird science experiment did they do on your colony?
Don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.
So mine so far, all I've done is I have built an overseer office.
Yep.
And since we've already said it earlier, at least on my planet, the buildings look like they're from Star Wars.
Mine do too. It
random
looks,
outpost
really
in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I built the office. I now have this terminal where I can do things such as, hey, let's build more buildings to put people in so that way they can be more productive and make more money or resources or whatever.
Yeah.
I am currently stuck because I need 100 frost shards. I flew to a planet that is listed as being a frost planet and should have frost shards, and it is no longer a frost planet. It is now a heat or a high temperature planet that does not have frost shards.
Oh, No Man's Sky patches.
Yeah. So now I need to find another ice planet to go to, so that I can get this crap. But yeah, so there's like all kinds of random stuff that's been happening with this, where I've had people randomly show up and they'll be like, "Hey, can I join your colony?"
Right.
They will add an additional, whatever amount of money for debt. And it's like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. I can use the extra bodies. Go
because
for it.
you're managing like debt and productivity and income and happiness.
Yeah.
I'm not too much further than you are. I've made a couple of decisions. Every once in a while I'll be like, hey, some people need you to kind of make a decision about an argument or something they want to go do. I made one decision about like, hey, which of these, here's this story that happened between these two citizens, which person do you side with? And there'll be kind of positives and negatives for each one. I made a decision to outlaw eyeball modifications because it was making a bunch of my people go crazy, and I was like, yeah, I should probably outlaw those. That sounds like a good call. And I've sent off 2 expeditions.
Yeah, I actually just sent off my first one. So
yeah, people come to you and they'll be like, hey, we want to spend like $20,000 and we want to go out and kind of go check out this place. Does that sound cool? And the first one, they wanted like 15 or 20,000 credits, which don't come out of your credits. They come out of like the town's budget.
Correct.
And when they came back, they're like, all right, we came back. It was successful. Here's like 450 nanites. I was like, wow. Okay, great. That's cool.
Mine didn't ask for money. They said, we want to get the hell out of here for a little bit. Can we go to the other side of the planet and explore? And
like, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm working on my second building. I haven't needed anything super crazy yet. But I have a feeling that like the last step of building that building will be something real super stupid.
Well, and like normally, because I need what was it, the heat conductors or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just need, before that, I needed like 240 chromatic metal. Well, I have a ton of it that I'm making because I needed it for antimatter. Yeah, exactly. So that's not such a big thing for me. It's just these onesie-twosie things where it's like, okay, I've never collected frost shards because I haven't needed them for anything. So now I need to figure them out. And
mine was like, you need to make 5 microprocessors. It's like, oh god, okay, there we go. Let's go through the tree of. I do have to say, the one big upgrade they made was they totally changed how the building interface looks.
I was just going to bring that up too. Yep.
Before you would hit like was up on the D-pad and it would bring up this menu that had like looked like the XMB or the not the XMB, the XMB from the PS4 and the PS5.
It'd be a tree basically.
Yeah, here's like a strip of things. Those are your categories. You pick one, and then it pulls up another strip. This one they just put a big grid on the screen where it's like, all right, here's all of them. You can see all of them at once. Go nuts.
Yeah,
it's way better.
So outside of messing with that, I also went through, while I was looking for materials and stuff for my colony, where I just completely pulled everything out of my storage units out of my main base and went through and organized everything by color.
Nice.
Not individual item color, but basically on the background, it looks like a periodic table and every element has like a color associated with it. So mostly reds are now in container 1. Mostly greens are in container 2. I went full crazy with this one because I was sick and tired of looking for crap.
Right.
And then on top of that, once I finished organizing my stockpile, I realized I don't have any money anymore.
Oh, sure.
So then I went on this little adventure on trying to figure out how the marketing works in No Man's Sky, which I haven't really dealt with before. And I've thoroughly broken the market in my game now.
Yeah, there we go.
So what I'm doing is everything, every station, every person generally sells cobalt.
Mm-hmm.
What I have done is taking all of the cobalt from my storage, which is a lot, and went to a space station and saw, okay, this is plus in the current market for this station. Cobalt is worth plus 5 point, whatever percent.
Yeah, there's a demand for cobalt in this system.
Yep. So I sold all my cobalt, went back to buy and rebought it all, and made $2 million.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then I kept jumping from different stations to different stations. And basically, if it was a positive, I would sell all my cobalt. And if it was negative, I would just keep buying more cobalt.
Ah, sure.
I have so much cobalt in my inventory now that when I see a positive anything at a station, it crashes it to like negative 90%.
Oh, jeez.
So I basically sell it all for like 20 million, turn around and buy it all back for like 400,000.
Oh, jeez. Yep. You're a walking disaster for that market.
Yeah. I was telling Moon too just before the podcast that I just got done showing my son how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So now he is flying around the galaxy crashing markets for cobalt.
Oh, man.
So that he can earn money. So.
That's great.
So you've basically become r/No Man's Sky bets.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You got to get those hot tips.
That's right. This patch is really interesting because I feel like I'm like of two minds with No Man's Sky right now, because every time there's a big patch and there's this big update, they update the part of the game that I don't really care about, which is like anything having to do with putting down roots, which makes sense because I'm not entirely sure how much more they can update or like fundamentally change about the going and exploring the universe, because that just kind of works. Like that stuff, it kind of is what it is. And I feel like this is the first update where normally it's like, oh, we did all this base stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, that's not the stuff I enjoy. But so far I've been really enjoying the Overseer stuff, because it does seem like there's this cool stuff of where I'm going to improve and build in this town, and I'm trying to make it profitable. I'm trying to make it like successful and productive and happy. Yep. And it seems like a really cool system so far.
Did you get your pet yet?
I had a couple pets during the last season, or what do they call them? Expeditions? Whatever the in-game term is. I had a couple there because I think there were a couple of challenges you needed to have some for. And I didn't play a lot of No Man's Sky this week, largely because I'm waiting for the next expedition to start, which thankfully they didn't launch with this patch, because this patch came in a little bit hot. So they're waiting for it to get a little more stable before they launch the expedition. So I'll probably play more. Based on what they're saying, it sounds like this expedition is going to be really hard. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to do there.
Yeah. I will also say I'm 100% assuming this was a PC mod, but there is a guy basically who has a pet that's a Chinese dragon, and you get to ride them across the planet.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
If that's in the game, that would be awesome, but I'm pretty sure that's got to be a mod. But
probably
just having like random animals that you can fly around with and stuff like that, that's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, being able to ride those animals is really cool.
Yeah. But that's it. They've added, I don't know if they've added or just changed how they name some planets, but there's some new stuff on there that's just popped up that I'm like, I have no clue what that means for this planet. I'm going to fly there and check this out.
Yeah.
Like there was one that was just called a plated world.
Great. I'll check it out.
Yeah, so I flew there, and yeah, it's basically just plates on the ground, like metal plating. It looks like a sphere, like a Dyson sphere.
Okay,
that's great.
So I was expecting DoorDash planet or something.
Welcome to the Grubhub planet. It's like, wait a minute.
There's another one that's called Anti-Life, which has like the highest Sentinel security alert on it, and I did not fly to that one because I got really close and they were already coming at me from space.
Oh jeez, that's pretty cool though. It's nice to see, like, it's nice to keep exploring and just seeing new stuff. It's like, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, it's still a really fun game.
Yeah,
surprisingly, it's not as broken so far. It did really screw up with us after we did the update on all three consoles, and then we did our creative mode thing with our massive skyscraper town that we've cored out this planet, apparently.
Right.
Right. It did take a long time, even on the PS5, for everything to settle and stabilize before we could run around. And even then, there was still a lot of, I'm hundreds of meters underground, and all of a sudden I'm surface level.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite bugs where the game's just like, I don't know what to do down here. You're back to the surface.
At least it sends you surface level now, whereas beforehand you would just drop to the map and that was it.
Yeah.
So,
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I still love this game. It's still really fun. Still real fun to play with the kids too.
Yeah.
We got back into tech or mech fighting again.
Yeah, there you
since
go.
we're in creative mode, we can't hurt each other. So I basically kept. Yeah, you just keep digging holes for them to fall into, and then you bury them.
Right. Love it.
Yeah. So,
man,
that's all I've been playing this week.
I checked out the open beta for Riders Republic. I figured, why not check this thing out? The alpha, pretty much as soon as everyone started installing the alpha, it got, all the information got leaked pretty quickly, and everyone seemed to have a good time with it. Riders Republic seems okay. I wish the open beta wasn't as restrictive as it is. It very much is, hey, here's the beginning of the game. We're going to do the thing that like The Crew 2 did and Forza Horizon 4 did. We're going to like check out a little bit of each race type kind of back to back during the introduction. So you try out like the bikes, you try out the rocket wingsuit, you try out one other one. I don't remember what that was. And then you kind of get the only part that's frustrating is every time you open up the map, it kind of pushes you directly into another race, which just give me like a second to check out the map. Like I want to see how big this game is, what we're talking about here, but it's like, no, you open the map, I'm going to mark this, and you're just going to head on over there.
You're basically forced into a tutorial beta kind of,
which is fine, but like as part of the open beta, like I want to know how big this world is. Like, am I talking about something that's kind of tiny but fairly densely packed? Am I looking at like Forza Horizon 5's map? Like, what are we looking at? I didn't really get a good idea of that. It looks solid. It runs well. The online seems to run pretty well. It seems okay. It's nothing I'm going to go racing out, especially with Forza Horizon 5 coming in November. Like it has to directly compete with a game that I am very hungry for. But it seems okay. It didn't leave me with a bad taste in my mouth immediately like The Crew 2 did. So I'll keep an eye on that. It seems okay. Are you talking about No Man's Sky? Golf Club Wasteland. We talked about that in releases last week. I've played a little bit of this. I've played a couple of holes. Seems really solid so far. It is a 2D sort of side view golf game. At least in the beginning, you only have one club. So it really is like if you want to putt, you got to put the reticle on the ground and then kind of drag it back and forth. So at the beginning, the controls are like a little bit squirrely, but I picked it up pretty quickly. So far, the levels are pretty interesting. It very much is something bad happened here on Earth and no one is here, so let's turn it into a golf club. And it seems like a really cool idea so far. It looks interesting. I'm playing it on PS5. It looks good. It sounds good. It controls pretty well. So I'm looking forward to. I didn't have a lot of time to spend with it this week, but it looks promising so far. It's only like $9 or $10 when I picked it up, so it's really cheap. Zen Pinball Party came out on Apple Arcade. This is the Zen Pinball FX crew. They put out a whole bunch of tables on Pinball Arcade or on Apple Arcade, and because it's on Apple Arcade, it doesn't have microtransactions, so you just get all the tables for free.
Cool.
It has Medieval Madness, so of course it's a 10 out of 10, and it has a whole bunch of their other stuff where it's a bunch of licensed stuff and a bunch of their original stuff, and it works great. The bottom left part of the screen is the left bumper. The bottom right part of the screen is the right bumper. You just drag on the screen and let go to shoot the ball. It works really well. It runs great, and it's free.
If you shake your phone, Does it let you hip check the pinball machine?
No, you have to like swipe the top of the screen, which I feel is like kind of a missed opportunity. But I don't know, maybe that was being a little squirrely for them. But yeah, it so far it is a Zen pinball, sort of Pinball FX game just on your phone. So that if you have Apple Arcade, download it so you can play Medieval Madness, because that table is incredible. Last game, though, the one I really want to talk about, I finally got a chance to start Fuga Melodies of Steel. This is the...
Is this a JRPG?
No, not... it's difficult. So this is the CyberConnect 2, who has been making JRPGs forever. This is their very first self-published game. This is the latest in like the Little Bronx series, which has been going on since Super NES, PS1, maybe. You have probably heard about this game because this is the game where a bunch of animal children are piloting a giant death tank. It's really all right. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the soul cannon in the game. The game makes you do it once and then like rolls back the game to say like, this is the cost of doing this. Make sure you weigh this cost pretty heavily. And essentially you just jam one of these kids into the soul cannon on this tank and it one-shots a boss. But it kills the kid. So if you're having a real hard time with a boss...
Just in case we weren't already, now we're on the list.
Right. So the game has you do it once, and then thankfully doesn't have you stick with that that choice. But I have not yet used the soul cannon. I'm about halfway through the game. I won't be using the soul cannon because
I was gonna say, come on,
for obvious reasons. Also, there's a trophy.
Of all people.
Yeah. Also, there's a trophy. But like it's when you get low health, when the tank gets low health in a boss battle, the narrator in the game is just like, well, sorry, I guess you got to use the soul cannon. You should probably use it. And then like this menu item pops up that's like flashing purple. And it's just like, soul cannon. You can finish the battle. I was like, no, I'll just heal. Chill out. Like I'm only at half health. Relax. So what this game is it reminds me of like the PS1 and PS2 era of experimental JRPGs, and kind of the most flattering way I can put that, because for me that was like a real golden era for JRPGs. You are members of this quiet little village, and the evil army is sort of sweeping across the continent and kidnapping all of the adults for something. I don't know what yet. That's part of what we're trying to figure out. So all the kids that are left in the village find this gigantic, monstrous, like Metal Gear Rex size battle tank, and decide, well, I guess we better hide in there from the army. And then they like activate it, and you fight your first battle and win. And they're like, well, let's go save our parents. And there's two phases to this game. One is almost like FTL, where you're kind of making decisions. You have this map along the top of the screen, and that's where you're sending your tank throughout each one of these chapters. And there are branching paths. So it'll be like, oh, this path is the super difficult path. You have like 3 battles, and each one of those battles has 2 or 3 phases. But at the end of it, there's a healing item and really great items over there. Or you can take the normal path. Maybe it's like 2 battles that have 2 phases. You get an okay item, and maybe you can refill your SP. Or the safe path, where it's like 1 fight with 1 battle, and then that's kind of it. So you get to make some choices there. The battle system is, you have 3 guns on the tank itself, and you're always switching kids in and out of each one of the those positions. And each of the guns is color coded. So there's red, yellow, and blue. You got to match those colors to the colors that are on the enemy tanks. If you take out all the colors on the enemy tanks, you delay their attack. So it's really this kind of almost rock, paper, scissors kind of matching thing where it's like, oh, this tank has yellow and blue on it. Shoot them once with yellow and blue. That pushes the enemy tank's attack way back in the time on the top of the screen. It's like a standard JRPG where it's like, here's where all of our turn order is. So you're kind of really manipulating the turn order at the top. So you have all of that where you're kind of exploring and battling. The battling feels really good. The boss battles are really challenging in a way that doesn't feel impossible, but it's not like, oh, I'm just attacking and pushing really hard and I just win. It's the enemies you're encouraged to clean debuffs. You're encouraged to defend. You're really encouraged to debuff enemies. All that stuff is really good. The hard battles that are optional are very, very difficult, often more difficult than the bosses, which is great. And on the other side, there's the intermissions where all of the kids are on the inside of the tank, and you're doing stuff like cooking meals and tending to the farm that's in the tank and doing the laundry and upgrading the tank and stuff like that. Early on, it was usually like maybe 3 or 4 battles, an intermission, like a healing area, and then the boss battle. And now I'm getting into, I just finished chapter 5, I think it was, and it looks like there's 12 chapters. It was like 10 battles, an intermission, a healing thing, like 10 or 15 more battles, an intermission, like 10 more, and then an intermission and a boss battle. So like we're getting into, and thankfully you can save and exit at any point. It'll save like a temporary save file for you, so you don't have to, all right, I'm tucking in for 6 hours. It's nothing like that. But I really like the back and forth between, all right, I fought all these tough battles. Now I'm going to use this intermission time to upgrade my tank. Most importantly, upgrade the relationships between the kids. And as they increase their relationships, they not only get bonuses in battle. So like this one relationship I have between these 2 kids is really solid. So I kind of pair them up in the same sort of slot a lot, where if they attack the enemy, they get back a little bit of health and a little bit of SP every time they attack. So I'm like always topping up my health and my SP a lot. And on top of that, you're building up these links between these kids, these link attacks. Usually those are not soul cannon levels of like just deleting the enemy, but it's going to do not only a ton of damage to the enemy you're fighting, but it'll usually buff you or restore your health or decrease the enemy's armor or attack or something like that. So you got to build it up by attacking and defending and sort of taking actions, but that stuff only comes as a result of forging relationships between these kids. So it reminds me a lot of what I liked about Moonlighter, where you have these 2 completely different sides of this game that each feed into each other really naturally. And it's really cool. It's pretty much the only thing I've played this week, because it is really clicking with me, and it's a budget title. It's only $40. It's on everything, including Switch.
Yeah. PS4, PS5, Xbox, Switch, and PC.
Yep. Runs really great, and I haven't run into any bugs or anything. It's a CyberConnect game, so it's available. The 2 languages it's available are Japanese and French, which is 100% what this studio does. Like all the text in the game, when you know, like when you play a shmup, it'd be like, warning, a boss approaches. All that stuff is in French.
Nice.
It's really good. It feels really great to play. It feels, the reason why it reminds me a lot of like PS1 and PS2 games is it feels like this game didn't have a crazy budget, so they have really maximized everything in the game, where like the battles work really well, the animations there are great, like everything inside the tank looks great. But when you go to upgrade the tank, there's like a picture, like some like concept art of the whole team upgrading the tank. You know, that shows up on screen for a minute. There's a couple of like banging and drilling noises, and then it comes back and it's like upgrade successful. You know, like they really maximize the amount of money they spent in this game, which is makes sense because they self-published it. But like all that stuff works really well, and all the gameplay is really solid. I've been looking forward to this game for a little bit here, and I'm really glad I spent the time playing it because it seems really cool so far.
So say everything you're saying is sounding like a Valkyria Chronicles game, and it makes me want to check this out.
Yeah, it's really, and like there's even cool stuff like after you get through like maybe the first chapter or two, you get a notebook when you go into the tank, like the intermission sections, and everybody that's on the tank, eventually you get 12 kids. I think I have 9 or 10 right now. But eventually everybody gives you this list of things they want to do. And if you achieve all of those objectives, you have a number of, I think it's AP, and like everything you do in the tank costs AP. So you kind of can't do everything. You have to pick and choose. All right, if I upgrade all of the stuff in my tank, I'm not going to have enough AP to go cook a meal, which means I won't get a little bit of a boost when I go do the next fight. But if I don't upgrade and I start farming and doing laundry and stuff, my relationships would be better and people would be happier, but I might have less armor, I might do less damage. So there's this kind of give and take there. But you'll get a notebook where everyone will have all the things they want to do. If you achieve a lot of those, the kids will go into the next battle really happy, which means they'll enter this thing called hero mode much faster. And hero mode does some crazy stuff. Like the first kid you get introduced to, his thing when he goes into hero mode is he just does double damage. And like the second kid you get introduced to, like the kind of engineer mechanic guy, he does increased damage and he just applies a random debuff on the enemy every time he attacks. So like there's this cool thing where the choices that you're making in the tank and the intermission stuff really do play out in pretty interesting and important, impactful ways when you're doing the battle. And if you don't perform well in the battle, some of your teammates are going to get injured or knocked out, which means you have to spend some extra AP to recover them and have them rest when you're in the intermission part. So like it's this really cool give and take between these things. It's like it all makes sense in the game. Like the tutorials are really, really, really great. It's translated really well. There's not a ton of story, but it kind of doesn't need it. It spends the time really where you'd want it to. It's great. This is Fuga, Melodies of Steel. It's really good. And Moon, I hope you understand now why I can't explain if it's a JRPG, because like it kind of is, where it's like left screen, right screen, you're shooting at enemies and there's a bunch of them, but it's like there are XP bars and like you are managing magic points essentially, but like there's so much that's going into it. It's so well designed that all of this kind of feeds into each other in a way that's really satisfying. It's great. I really recommend it. I'd recommend checking out some footage of it. I probably should have been playing some gameplay while we're talking about this. But yeah, it's really great. Fuga Melodies of Steel. I feel like this is going to be a sleeper hit this year, and as long as it nails the landing, this will probably be pretty high in my top 10, just because it's doing everything right. And I hope that more people get a chance to check it out. And it's on everything, and it's $40. And like I said, CyberConnect 2 is self-publishing this. This is their first one, so I wanted to support them whether the game was good or not. And it turns out the game is actually really good. So everybody wins. But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Yep. Overboard is the name of the game you were looking for, Boston. Overboard.
Overboard, right, thank you. Yeah, when someone mentioned Overboard, I was just like, man, this is like a really cool, Overboard. It's not on Switch. Get Away with Murder, highly replayable detective game where you're the one who done it. From the creators of 80 Days in Heaven's Vault. Actually, I didn't know that. That's interesting. You'll need all your cunning, coercion, and charisma to ensure that someone else takes the fall. That's great. July 1935, a murder has been committed aboard the SS Hook 8 hours out from New York. Only one problem, you did it. Can you get away with murder? That's great. One playthrough lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. That's cool. How much is this? $15. That's nothing. Let me see if I can show this trailer here on stream. Let me mute it. I swear to God, eShop. YouTube, Overboard game. How to get the best ending? No. Take a look at this. All right, let me add this back to the stream and play this here. Yeah. Thankfully, how long did we record for that? Yeah. Oh, a real long time. Okay. Thankfully, we don't have very much for the second half of this episode. Oh. Okay, you guys ready to wrap this thing up?
Yup.
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Hold on. I guess we got a hate bot in the chat if that matters. Do we? I'm not even seeing it.
I don't see anything in Twitch.
Okay, well. We'll keep an eye out. Thank you for letting us know.
Unless he is the hate bot.
Well, no, not Cosmic. Oh, I see that someone just followed us. Okay. All right. Thank you for letting us know. We'll keep an eye on it. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's start releases for the week of September 6th, 2021. Chernobylite comes out on PS4 and Xbox One. I feel like everyone's really excited about this game, and I'm not entirely sure why. Is this like it looks like kind of an adventure survival Chernobyl thing.
That's why you're not interested in it, dude, because it has the word survival in it.
Well, I feel like every time one of these games come out, and I feel like half of the time they're in Chernobyl, is everyone's like, oh my god, it's finally coming out. And it's like, I've never heard of this thing ever. Like, why are you guys so excited about it? So Chernobyl is coming out. Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch, comes out on the PS5 and the PS4. This is that really cool, like, upgradable robot Metroidvania that I've been keeping an eye on for a while. This is PlayStation exclusive, unfortunately, but I'll probably be picking that up this week to check that out because that looks super great.
It's the one that you play as a rabbit with a giant mechanical fist, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks really good. Yeah. Sonic Colors Ultimate comes out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Maybe don't pick this one up because it's all the way busted. In a way that is, for especially on the Switch version, is genuinely seizure inducing. So might want to wait for this one to get a patch if it does get one, which is a real bummer.
It's meant to be one of the best Sonic games ever as well.
Yeah, I feel like in like the last couple of years, Sonic Colors was well regarded. I think the last one I played was Sonic Generations. I liked that one a lot, but I never checked out.
It's great.
Yeah, I never checked out Colors. I heard it's good. The Artful Escape comes out on Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. This is the one that Microsoft showed off at Opening Night Live, or whatever the one was right before that. Relatively recently, this is the one where the guy says, "I'm going to become the best concept artist in the world," and then it's just a mess of like psychedelic concert art. I believe this one is coming to Game Pass, but don't quote me on that. Game I'm looking forward to, Life is Strange True Colors, comes out PS5, Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, PC. The remastered version of Life is Strange got delayed. It was supposed to launch around the same time. It got delayed until early next year. But this game is still coming out on time. I know very little about this because it's a new Life is Strange game, and
yep. So you went dark like we did.
Yeah, it's made by Deck 9 or Deck 10. The guys who made Before the Storm and Life is Strange 2. So it's not a Don't Nod game, but the other games were really good, so I'm not bothered by any of that. Looking forward to it. NBA 2K22 comes out PS5, Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. That's probably all you need to know about that one. Tales of Arise comes out PS5, Series X, PS4, Xbox One, PC. I'm really curious to see how this gets received, because that demo was really good, and I could go for kind of a longer action RPG right now.
I'll say I'm super excited.
Yeah, I don't. What's the last Tales game you played, Nib?
The new Vesperia re-release.
Okay,
I've played all of them, so
yeah,
including Tales of Hearts R on the PlayStation Vita.
Oh, there you go. I feel like I don't think I played Berseria, but I did play Zestiria, which everyone apparently doesn't like, and I had a fun time with that.
I liked Zestiria too. I actually think that Berseria does a great job of adding story to the first game and gives you a better idea on what is happening.
Yeah. Great. Tales games are great. And lastly, WarioWare Get It Together comes out on the Switch. The only news story we have this week is, unless something happened today that I haven't seen because I just haven't been on the internet today, is Windows 11 starts rolling out on October 5th. It's largely going to start rolling out to computers that just installed Windows 10. It will be a free upgrade if you own Windows 10. The full rollout is expected on all eligible devices by mid-2022. If you haven't seen Windows 11, the start menu moved a little bit. Windows Explorer looks a little bit different. That's about it. The gaming features that you probably care about, Microsoft is carrying over Auto HDR from Xbox over to Windows 11. I understand that it's only going to work on games that are DirectX 11 and higher. Right now that's 11 and 12. But I'm sure someone will find a way very quickly to hook that up in a scum VM for some reason. So, you'll need an HDR compatible card and monitor, of course. But that's cool to see them, invest in technology for the long term, even when it may not make sense in the short term. So very happy to see Auto HDR coming to something else, because it's cool and it's dark magic. I don't know how it works, but it does, and it looks really good. They're also bringing direct storage over from the Series X. Direct storage is interesting because on paper, it says like, oh, it'll launch games faster and stuff like that. Oh, NVMe SSDs. But the Direct Storage API is supposed to circumvent your processor by loading assets either directly into your graphics card, sort of bypassing the CPU bottleneck, alongside using your NVMe SSD to speed up those load times. So it's kind of a cool API that they got going on. It seems like it's utilized well on the Series X, but some of that I think is just brute force early days on both of the current gen consoles, because the SSD is just so much faster. So I'm really interested to see how direct storage will work on Windows 11. There's also like a version of it coming out to Windows 10, but I'm not sure if that's like the full optimized version or not. We probably won't know for a couple months anyway. And unfortunately, the built-in Android app support won't be making it in for launch, but the rumor has been that when that launches, Android app support will also be launching for the Xbox Series X and S, which is interesting because it would be nice if people on the Series X and S could run Discord, and then that would make things a lot easier for everybody.
Interesting, especially with Destiny 2, no cross-play voice chat. I see where you go with that.
Actually, they just patched it on Tuesday, and they're like, yeah, we'll put in a bunch of stuff. Oh, and cross-play voice chat. No big deal. See you guys later. And it's like, wait, what?
No,
I'm sorry. So, yeah, Moon and I'll have to try that out at some point.
Yes. It all comes back to Destiny for you, doesn't it?
It sure does. Destiny 2, the best feeling shooter of... Yeah.
It is Destiny's all the way down.
That's right. So, I mean, look, if you're running Windows 10, there's really no reason for you to be upgrading to Windows 11 in the short term, unless you really want to try it, but just install a VM and just do it that way. Turn on virtualization on your motherboard and just do that. But it will be interesting to see of the people that have HDR compatible graphics cards and monitors. I have the card, not the monitor. It'll be interesting to see how auto HDR works and kind of how people can break it open to have it work on more stuff. But other than that, it seems like it's not a super huge update, which hopefully means that it won't break everything in the world when it just sneaks on your computer automatically. LOL. So also, my thoughts go out to all my brethren in IT. I'm so sorry that someone will just click install Windows 11 without thinking about it, and it breaks their native apps.
We're having so many issues right now with the new update for Windows 10 that...
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, just wait until someone in accounting says like, I clicked a button and it like restarted and now QuickBooks won't work, and it's like, oh god, oh, you installed the thing, oh no.
When was the last time you backed up your data?
Right. What? How do I do that? I don't. You guys do that. Yeah. So, yikes. Fingers crossed. But that's all of our news stories this week. We don't have any questions or anything, so we've been recording for a really long time, so it's probably a good time for us to, hit the old dusty trail. You can find us at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1, one's your numbers. At the top of the show, talked about all the cool benefits that you get. The great benefits that I get from you supporting the show financially is that you pay for the show, which is great. And if you want to see where all your hard-earned money goes, I'm transparent about where all that stuff is on the page. And you get us closer to the $250 goal. If you want to send us $250 a month, we have a lot of hardware to buy, and it's not cheap. So we will
It's
absolutely
all
take
backed
your money.
up. So as soon as we can get those orders in, the better.
That's right. I got a lot B&H video. I got a lot of carts full. Yeah.
Support us today so we can upgrade next year.
That's right. That's right. If you get us to the $250 a month goal, I get to play spooky, scary games. As long as we
Please
keep it that goal.
And also, tell friends.
Yeah.
Simple.
Word of mouth helps the most. Your ratings also help a ton. Sharing it on social media helps a ton. But yes, the word of mouth is always the biggest way that any podcast you listen to continues to grow and expand. And our show is no exception. So thank you if you've been listening. Thank you for telling your friends. And thank you for listening to this episode. And we'll see you all next week. Bye. Bye.
I was moving and my bones hurt.
The bones
hurt,
hurt.
Old man.
Bones mostly hurt at night. Mostly.
Yes. Dude, you could... Like, literally, it's been less than a month and you're just full of references now.
I know, I love it. Well, I mean, like we talked about in the show, I've heard them all forever, and now I know where they're from.
Now
okay,
I
Nimp.
understand them.
Yeah, now it's come full circle. Nimp, what are your titles?
I have I Don't Want to Feel This Feeling. Zed's Got a Gun. My Purple Rotation. Optimize My Beetle Race Line. Vasquez and Vegeta. And It Just Slaps.
Vasquez and Vegeta.
I will not tell you what my tablet keeps trying to autocorrect Vegeta to, but I will leave that to your imagination.
I think we can assume. Yeah. Moon, what do you have?
Imagine a black rectangle. Zag's Got a Gun. Purple Rotation. Citation Needed. Yo Dude, We Old. Shut Up Moon. R/No Man's Sky Bets. And Now We're on a List.
I didn't write any titles this week, so the ones I wrote down from you guys are I Don't Want to Feel This Feeling, Vasquez and Vegeta, Zag's Got a Gun, and Purple Rotation. I feel like Zag's Got a Gun is the front runner here.
Yeah. Also a reference I don't get. Really?
Then it's
you could have waited like 2 minutes.
It's an Aerosmith reference.
Janie's Got a Gun.
Yep.
What do you know? I know like 3 Aerosmith songs.
Well, I guess I know what your next critical misses is.
Please no. Aerosmith is fine, but they have like 400 albums, and I'm sure most of them are not great. God.
So
4 episodes in, we're begging for death. Like, please, Steven Tyler, please let us die. Oh. Okay, so it sounds like Zag's Got a Gun is probably her title.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 724 for September 6th, 2021. Zag's Got a Gun.
This is the thing I missed.
Is anyone else feeling a little thirsty?
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.